Hey, what's going on to you Libras? So you have you Libras actually have the transition card. I can't say the I'll say the abyss. You have the abyss, you have the hermit, and you have the ace of wands. So okay, so for you, there's a sense of you Libras essentially wanting to be by yourselves. I thought that isolation and solitude were the same, but I have to come back and say I was wrong, right? They are actually two different things. Isolation is something that other people um, they impose onto you, right? They try to put on you, and solitude is something that you essentially do for yourself. So my bad. I'm sorry. I was wrong for that. However, now I know better. So there's definitely a sense of you Libras essentially choosing to be more of yourselves, finding out more of who you are. This is for your yearly 2025 overview. So next year is going to be about understanding better who you Libras actually are, finding out who you want to be. And I think you Libras are going to essentially experience ups and downs. But ultimately, you Libras will come out on the other side of 2025, right? The tail end, 2025, November and December, feeling good that you've accomplished and you've went through everything that you've went through. So like I said, solitude, right? You're choosing to be more yourself. Then you have the Ace of Wands, other people basically trying to give you issues. So there's a sense of you Libras choosing to be by yourselves because the world is messy and it's noisy. And people try to impose their will onto you. And a lot of you Libras, obviously being air signs, you're not going for it. Because air is the element of freedom, right? You got to have your personal space. And that if a person isn't willing to give you your personal space, then what exactly is it that we're even talking about in the first place? And so a lot of you are choosing to be someone different compared to how other people expect you to be. The Knight of Swords and the Wheel of Fortune is about how a lot of you Libras, also, you will, next year, you, like I said before, you're going through the abyss, right? The abyss is where it is that you confront the deepest, darkest parts of yourself, but it's also a form of emptying. It's a form of you being like you basically getting yourself into on one level, because there's many, but on one level, it's you getting yourself into a meditative state to where you can actually do what it is that you need to do for the day, and you don't have to have all these types of worries. So there's a sense of like to go back to the beginning, like it is that I said before. There's a sense of solitude. There's a sense of you Libras. You Libras are social butterflies. Air signs know how to socialize with people. But just because you Libras know how to do that doesn't mean that you will do that. And there's a sense of you essentially choosing to be by yourselves because a lot of people just, they're messy. And it's not the good kind of messiness that you need in your life, right? That unpredictability, that chaos, you know, in a controlled environment. But it's much more, a little bit of chaos, but it's much more of they're messy and they're always going to be messy. And so the hermit represents the person who essentially secludes themselves inside of a cave. This proverbial symbolic cave representing wherever you Libras essentially deem to be quiet and peaceful. So it can be your home, it could be just where, you know what I'm saying? Like wherever, right? I live in a city, so wherever is peaceful for you is wherever it is for you. So um so like it is I said before, you realize that there will always be messy, and that's and you Libras will be reminded as to why it is that there's a sense of you Libras essentially choosing to kind of abandon society, walk away from it, to be in seclusion, to, like I said, solitude and all of that. And if you can get someone else in on it with you, the solitude with you, as far as like, a friend, maybe, even a couple of friends, people that actually will go with you, or a significant other that will go with you, then a lot of you Libras are good at that point. You don't need, you Libras don't want everybody up in your sunflower. You don't need to save the whole world. And see, the Wheel of Fortune right here represents, and you will find something out very important about yourself. And what you Libras will find is that this is what it is that you needed. Because a lot of the times, people who have hyperactivity and stuff like that, what they really need is solitude, right? They really actually need to just cool off for a minute, and just focus their mind, right? And this overstimulation of the hustle and bustle of the city, or this one and that one and this one and that one, that is a part of what's driving us mad, essentially, right? Slowly, or put, you know what I'm saying, messing up our minds, not having us being able to actually reach I'm in that meditative state right now. I'm in that meditative state right now, because this is what it is that I do before I turn the camera on. I go take a cold shower. I don't care if what season it is. Body has adapted. Take a cold shower. Boom. After I take, now I don't always take a cold shower. I'm not even gonna lie. But this morning I did. Boom. I'm in a meditative state right now. Later on, I may go meditate. But the point is that the ability to focus myself, right? To actually be able to understand what I'm dealing with for today, what I'm actually doing for today, as opposed to thinking about, what I got going on and all this and all that and all whatever. And so because of that, because I have that mentality, right, that serves me better, which it will serve you better, because the point I'm trying to make here is that you Libras will understand that this is what it is that you needed. You needed to just bring solitude to yourself and go into a quiet place for a very long time, years. You just didn't have time, or didn't create time for yourself to actually be able to sit down and just take it all in, take the quietness all in, right? You're either up in someone's face, or someone is up in your face, because they want your attention. You're Libras, social zodiac signs. But like it is that I said before, this is why air signs represent the duality, because air signs represent on one level the duality of having people up in your face, multiple people, versus you being the individual. And so what I'm trying to say is that it represents being both of those things. It represents, yes, knowing how to socialize, but it also represents you also need that alone time too. This is part of the reason why I always say, and you know what I'm going to say, people who are in relationships, unless y'all are living together, you shouldn't be up in each other's faces. You shouldn't, because I'm telling you science-based stuff. You're going to go ahead and get on each other's nerves more often than what is healthy, because you're so close to each other. You're so much. You're constantly spending space around each other. And that brings irritation. That brings unnecessary irritation. Or maybe it is necessary to show you that you need some space. But the point is that it brings a lot more irritation and frustration, as opposed to if you would have just separated yourself, even for a couple of hours. Just go outside, go do something, and then come back later on in the day, right? Even if you are living together. But see, a lot of the times, people want to immediately move in, right? It's this U-Haul mentality where it's like, yo, live by yourself for a minute. Live by yourself, kick it by yourself, hang out by yourself. And because there's no room to breathe, right? Because there's no room to breathe, because there's no way to actually be able to give each other some space, it creates, like I said, it creates a lack of understanding of self. And so this is why I say that people should, especially in relationships, shouldn't be living together. And if you are going to live together, okay, fine. I'm not going to say that there's no exception. If you are going to live together, perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But there is a little bit more, in other words, there's a better chance of irritation, right? As to where if you weren't living together, irritation would have came a lot. It still would have happened, but it wouldn't necessarily be so important or powerful. Living together creates a lot more irritation, right? The irritation is a lot more in your face. It's much more powerful. So the point that I'm trying to make here with that is that you Libras will understand that this solitude, this abyss, this separation from the group to or society, right, which is the group, to understand yourself individualistically, who you actually are without the identities of other people, right? But also, ironically, to the collective. You will find that out more. And see, the Eight of Swords, the Two of Pentacles, and the Nine of Wands represents how a lot of you are in a situation where a lot... I'm just thinking about one of my Libra friends and stuff like this. How I saw her doing her thing, and I was like, "What you doing?" Right? And she was like, "Stop hating." Now, granted, right? If she's watching this, I'm not hating whatsoever. I was just giving her a difficult time. I love what it is that she's doing. I'm not even gonna lie. She knows who she is. I love what it is that she's doing. So I'm never gonna be like jealous of her, or I can't even say the H word, but I'm never gonna be jealous of her or whatever. But in that sense, I think I did say it. But anyway, whatever. It is what it is. But even if I think I did say it, but whatever. I'm never gonna be jealous of her, right? But I just love what it is that she's doing, right? But anyway, the point that I'm trying to make here with that is I'm just kind of thinking about her a little bit as I'm doing it. Anyway, so the point that I'm trying to make here with that is so you're just gonna not only are you gonna find out more about yourself, but the Eight of Swords and the Two of Pentacles is gonna be about how you Libras don't want to essentially go back. You will socialize, but there's a sense of you will have that in your life where you're going to keep that. You're going to take that and keep that forever. You Libras are going to constantly, you're going to hang out, kick it, do whatever, but you're also going to set aside time for yourself where you're going to do your own thing. There's going to be every day or often as possible, you Libras will create time for yourself, where you do get that solitude, right? At least once a week. You're going to take this practice with you. And the the Seven of Wands, I said Nine of Wands. Seven of Wands right here represents how people will give you that type of time where, they're going to want to be up in your face, but you Libras are going to be like, give you some space though. And then you have the Two of Swords and the Four of Pentacles. They're going to think that you're losing your mind, but they don't understand that you Libras have spiritually grown. You understand that you can't be around your friends, you can't be around society and socialize constantly, because you need that form of separation to where you can recollect who you actually are, as well as laying out in front of you who you actually are. Because like I said before, it's a form of emptying. It's a form of letting go of the day, letting go of what worries you have. I'm in that state right now. And just focusing on whatever without it being carefree. It's called the zone, right? And more colloquial slang terms, is called the zone, right? When you say, oh, I'm in the zone, science has actually found a meditative state that is a real place, and it's real. It's an actual real place that everyone goes when they get to that meditative state, when they get to that void, that acceptance of everything. Yeah, that's a real place. And studies have done research on this, and this is a real scientific phenomenon. As a matter of fact, I'll actually put it in the comment section, some more of the evidence if you want it, but I'll try to find it, put some of the evidence on my own resources or some of my own specific research in the comment section as well, where when you get to that place, it actually, not only does it calm you down, and scientists actually have used a form of solitude to combat the effects of ADHD and ADD. And what they've found is that it actually helps. So let's clarify the Four of Pentacles. Two of Cups, Six of Pentacles, Seven of Wands, the Ace of Cups, and then you Libras have the Ten of Cups. So the Two of Cups, Six of Pentacles, and the Seven of Wands speaks to also, like, right, when it comes to relationships, friends and romantic ones, right, even family, there's a sense of like you will find that they will treat you a lot better, or treat you much better, because you're not around that much anyway, right? And this is why, as I said it, repetition creates contempt, right? You hang around people so much, like I've talking about, it creates friction, it creates frustration, because you're hanging around each other too much. As opposed to when you actually create a form of distance. I'm not saying that this distance has to be forever, but I'm saying that in a controlled way, few hours, 1 hour, 2 hour, right? It creates healthier relationships. And you will find that people will treat you a lot better, because it's that reacquainting themselves, like, oh, I ain't seen you Libras in a long time. And the truth is that they're not going to, because the way that you Libras have become, you've internalized your world a lot more. It's become a lot more spiritual. See, Libra is very stuck up. You can be very stuck up, caught up in art and beauty. And Libras can be very spiritual too, but only in a particular stuck up kind of way. Now that you, and again, some of you Libras gonna say, yo, this dude. No, listen, I was engaged to a Libra. I admire many Libras. I know Libras. I know plenty of Libras right now. Some of my good friends in high school were Libras. I'm not, going in on y'all and talking trash. I'm just saying, because I understand it. I personally wish that Libras in general were more spiritual. And they wouldn't hide behind the shallowness, or hide behind let's just keep it surface. No, let's stop with the surface trash. Let's actually get to the real matter of it. But see, I'm a Virgo with a Pisces ascendant talking that. So what do I know? Right? Humbly with a very humble heart, my dear Libras. What do I know? But then, so there's a sense of you becoming much more spiritual, and people being able to also recognize it, that you Libras are essentially not the same by the end of the year. And then the Ace of Cups and the Ten of Cups represent, and there's a sense of people liking this change. But again, you Libras are going to sustain this change for a long time. This is not something that's going to stop by the end of the year. A lot of you Libras are going to continue this practice potentially for the rest of your life. So that's pretty much it. I see that your relationships are going to mend next year. They're going to get a lot better. Even when it comes to like romantic relationships, the person is going to have to understand that you are on a spiritual journey, and that you are not the same way that you used to be. You are evolving. And that if they don't understand that, then it is what it is. And again, this goes right back into there's so much that I have to say in this. This goes right back into what it is that I was saying about how people are in relationships, because I told y'all that there's different types of romantic relationships, because I want to target the romantic relationships. And what I mean when I say that there's different types, I'm talking about, this is why people can't understand that form of solitude. They can't get in on the solitude with you, is due to the fact that they are dependent. They are codependent. This is why people will be frustrated when you'll tell them, oh, you don't necessarily want to talk to them every single day. Same thing with me. You know how many people I'm talking to romantically, and I'm telling them, look, they're calling me every day. There's this need to call me every day. And I'm just like, look, I'm telling them straight up, like, look, I need my personal space. And it really doesn't have, and I really don't want you to think that I'm going in on you, because I'm not. It's just that I'm developing myself. I'm developing who I am. I'm always going to develop. I got a big screen TV that's like 3 feet. You know what I'm saying? Across, 3 feet across. It's a big screen TV. When that big screen TV is finished, hopefully not soon, but when it's finished, I'm just going to get rid of myself, watch TV. Not even going to watch TV anymore, anymore like that. I'm not saying, obviously, I'm not going to watch it if I cross like a windowsill in the street, a TV run. But I'm talking about as far as me sitting down and watch TV. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm getting rid of even that. And this is what I'm talking about, that abyss, right? That letting go of things that I used to be attached to create something else, right? It's not only is it a physical thing, but it's a spiritual thing as well. And a lot of people don't realize that. They don't respect it. They'll be upset with you, Libra, because you want your own personal space. But if they're going to be in your life, they have to accept that. They have to respect that. They have to. So, and not only that too, but it will create their own spiritual development too. It's like, what do they want to be all up next to you for? What do you want to be all up next to them constantly for? Like, come on, yo. But that's pretty much it. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share the video. I'm proud of y'all. Smash the subscribe button, smash the like button, hit the notification bell, set the notification bell to all so you can be notified whenever I drop my videos.